Come in. You can have the whole lot for $5,000. Look at this, the suit that Elvis Presley wore when he first started. Do you believe me?
Jackets, leather pants, leather jackets.
I'll tell you what we'll do. You give us $10, you can have them both.
No way.
Yeah.
This is Terry's Betty Grable dress.
Built-in knockers.
Built-in boobs. Colette Mann wore it once.
So 21 years, is it?
Here, but we've been doing theatre restaurant for 35.
So we've been going a hell of a long time.
And do you know what shits us the most now? People come in and say, oh, you're selling all this, so you're going to retire. Off to the Twilight Zone nursing home, barbed wire, only allowed out between 8 and 5. No, we're not. Actors don't retire. They just keep waiting for the phone to ring. But she turns terribly if they say, you're going to retire, Dad.
Oh, I'm going to retire. No. In other words, are you going to die? Are you going to just drop dead? No.
Love sneaking up behind me. I wasn't ready for his sneaky ways. I wasn't ready for those sleepy days to end. Baby, so happy that you found me. I wasn't looking for a new romance. I wasn't looking for the song and dance today has become, baby. There's no point running when the sky's a perfect blue. You saw me coming and I know you felt it too. You'd better watch your back as I'm sneaking up on you.
So I welcome you all. Hope we all have a lot of fun. Now you've all sort of met. That's up there. Pinocchio is Georgina, and that's Jareen, and who? Sarah. I'll get the names after about 3 weeks. I will know your names. And we've been doing it for many years, of course. We've been doing pantomimes for 35 years. So we both know what we're doing, and we've both got good areas. I'm good on the funny stuff. Carole-Anne's good on the
Visual stuff.
visual and costumes and all
Ideas.
that. Ideas. This is the opening of the show. And I'm clapping it on the... I just want them doing some like wog type, you know, skipping around.
And skip around.
Same way? Or should we go?
Yeah, how long?
No, we don't need that long.
How long have you got?
I'll be fucking dead by then. We'd never have thought years ago I'm going to grow up and do bloody pantomimes. I mean,
Didn't even know what a
it's not a
pantomime was.
career path which is written down for any TAFE college or whatever anywhere.
Now, if we don't do the full 360 and I go here, then Carole-Anne is there straight around
first. Oh, you can do that. Hang on. So,
Just do it as I told you. I'm an expert at this. We're going to do it again.
Okay.
Go away. What happened, our friend from Melbourne rang us up and said, look, I'm doing a pantomime at a shopping centre.
Cinderella.
Cinderella. I said, oh.
And I've always wanted to play Cinderella. And they said, no, he said, you're not going to play Cinderella. We want you for an ugly sister. And then he rang back a couple of weeks later and said, I can't find anyone else to be an ugly sister with you. Do you think your husband Terry would be an ugly sister? And I said, will he be an ugly sister?
So, hustler that we are, I did it.
Ladies and gentlemen, mums
On the first day, he looked at me and said, "How did I ever let you talk me into this?"
Hey, straight back. And then we need a bit of thunder as he comes back on, James, if you could. All right. The following year, the manager of the centre at Chadstone said to me, "I need someone to put on a pantomime. Can you do it?" So I looked him straight in the eye and said, "Yes." So I wrote Jack and the Beanstalk, and we did it at Chadstone Shopping Centre. Ran for 4 weeks, and at the end of it, I'd made about something like $600. It was a bloody fortune. You could buy a house for about
1,000.
I thought, this is good. Yeah. What happens then?
I think I say, Pinocchio.
This is truly fantastic, Blue Stuff Fairy. Is he really, really... When does she sing the song?
Much later, darling. Get on with it. Just do the script.
Be nice to me. Is it really... Well, it can be fun. It is fun. We have a lot of
It's
fun.
probably what's held us together.
But-
the glue in the marriage.
But we do have our moments.
Can I do some directing here for a minute?
Christ.
Stromboli, darling, you are lovely. You are full of. You are wonderful.
Can I put the lunch on?
Yeah. We lack menace.
It's like any person, partnership is hard. And people who aren't even married putting shows on, I'm sure. Andrew Lloyd Webber has a problem with his musical director sometimes. So if you can just back off, Lindsay.
Yep.
And
You were just standing there looking at the money and give her a foot up the bum or whatever, or grab her ear.
Yeah.
And pull her off.
Have you ever kicked a cat, Jessica?
Have I ever?
Kicked a cat?
No. Why would I kick a cat?
Well, you get kicked all the time in this, and if you kick a cat, it'll go meow!
All right.
So every time he kicks you, whatever they do to you, and not just meow, but I mean, and you should jump. So it's going to go meow, and a beetle, Get catty with it, darling. An actor always has to be on. You always have to go on. No matter what happens, the world comes to an end. You're on that stage. People come and pay their money. Nowadays, the understudies, you go along and understudies are on so often. Not in our day. People went on. People actually did it, dying. People died on stage. It's every actor's dream, I think, to die on stage. Not die in the fact that the audience kill you and don't like you, but just literally drop dead. Wonderful, wonderful way to go.
If only they would love me. Only somebody would love me.
I like this in this, you know that, don't you?
Dear sweet buttons, I love you too.
How I met Terry. Oddly enough, I'd been sacked from a couple of shows that I was in. And Terry was sacked from the last show he was in. And if we both hadn't been sacked at the same time, we would never have met up together in the company that we met. It was summer season, up at a place called Whitby in Yorkshire, and we met on the railway station.
And there on the station, I see this creature with a big coat and a picture hat and a father with her, and I thought, oh, fuck, I wonder if she's with us. You have to ask her about her thoughts. She probably thought, oh, he's young and I'll have him.
He smoked all the time. I used to buy him cigarettes, can you imagine that? He smoked all the time and blew smoke rings. And he saw himself, it was cool. He was only 22, terribly young. And I was 26.
But it was a wonderful life, you know, drinking, shagging and acting. I mean, it was... And Carole-Anne and I, you better ask her how long it was, but I think it was only about a week before one thing led to another.
I was the leading lady and he was the assistant stage manager. And he had to escort the leading lady from one side of the stage to the other and put me in another spot where I had to be on the phone. And as he took me through the darkness backstage so I didn't trip over anything, he said, "I think you're the most wonderful actress I've ever seen." And I went, "Oh, really? Nice young man." And that was the start of our romance. You're never going to give me a cue, are you?
What cue do you want?
Well,
Anything you want, I'll give it to you.
Well, my actual line is, we will discover that. How can we help?
How can you do these things? How can you do it?
Well, something. Well, whatever.
Go on, just say you're fucking lying it on with it.
We will be able to help Pinocchio. Pinocchio help himself. We will discover that when we find Pinocchio.
Yes.
Geppetto, all
Yes.
you have to do is
Follow
just
this star.
follow my star.
Yes. You must have
Want
read
me to go that way?
yes.
Right, yes.
I'm following the star, blue star fairy. I'll have a look at the script.
Come over to the sunny side now. Australia, a great place for families. Opportunity for you. Fine for your wife. Great for your children. You could be on your way to a sunnier future in the new year. On your way to Australia.
Looking back, I made a big mistake.
Really?
Yes, looking back. I should have stayed. I know everybody. I knew everybody. I knew everybody in the theatre and the beginnings and all these people that became famous. I was part of their lives. And I threw it all away. And people used to say to me, why did you go to Australia? You're throwing everything away. And I wanted the sun, desperate for sun. And I wanted to be with Terry. I was in love and it was an adventure.
So in hindsight, you reckon it was...
In hindsight, it was
but everything's in
biggest,
hindsight. I mean,
no, biggest mistake of my lifetime. But
Nice.
never mind, we made the most of
Yes.
it. It's a ritual. It is total and utter ritual. I have trouble rehearsing because when I rehearse, I'm not in costume. And I find that very hard, very disappointing, and I feel ugly. Then you put the costume on and, well, that's it, you become. Cat, whenever we need a cat costume. Capes, because we always need capes for wicked villains, etc., etc. Cinderella in rags. Yes. It's probably the part I like playing most of all, Cinderella. This Hansel and Gretel dress here. Oh. Was made when we first did Hansel and Gretel. I was Gretel, Daryl Summers was Hansel, and I just had my second baby, and he was 6 months old. So that was in 1974. And look, it's still beautiful. I keep things beautiful. It's part of me. It's very, I'm very artistic, very Aphrodite. Everything has to be beautiful. And when I go to see a show, when I was a little girl and I go and see a show, and I see the fairies come on and they didn't glitter, or I'd see something and I think, I don't like that. That's not pretty enough. It's not pretty enough. If I was doing it, I would make it. And that's what I've done. That's what I do.
Probably the first time we got to put my head.
Hello!
Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone. It was gorgeous. I'm late. Yes.
You want a coffee or not?
Yes, please, darling, yes.
Yeah.
I have one coffee, lasts me all day. If I have two, I get fat, because it's made with milk. You remind me of me when I was young. No, you do. It's like you know every word. I'd be in shows, and like you, I'd see like one rehearsal, and I immediately knew what everyone said.
I don't do any bass baritone in this though, do I? But you needed to get the resonant tones down there. The old actor manager.
I've got the same problem as Maria Callas had, you know. Do you know Maria Callas had this problem?
What problem is that?
Well, she was the high coloratura soprano, and then she sort of fell madly in love with Onassis and went on to the high living and all that sort of thing, and dieted a lot.
She's got to wear a radio mic because the kids can be very noisy, but it is a bit cheeky because I'm poking around her knickers. And it could be construed. I'm now going round under the waist, which is the highlight of my day. But she trusts me implicitly.
I've got it. Thank
You got
you.
it?
Yeah.
think I need a bit more bling. You think? With the bling?
Fairy, you ready to perform?
Good luck, girlies.
Good luck, girls. You're all been gorgeous in your rehearsals.
I'll give you a hug.
Shook as Pinocchio.
We welcome you to the Tivoli, Melbourne's #1 for children's theatre entertainment. To this, the hottest ticket in town. Today, Carole-Anne and Gill are proud to bring you a magical mystery story of a little boy called Pinocchio. Just think, how do they do it every year?
Well, it sounded super. You sound... No, it's true.
Because
You
I
sound
such-
better now than you
I-
did 30 years ago.
I sounded shit out 30 years.
No, I'm not saying that, but you
No,
just sound
I
a lot
did, I
better.
know.
Oh, no, it was lovely. It's a lovely opening song, that. It's beautiful.
I want you to say hello to Geppetto. Now you got to do multicultural with your hands like this. Hello, Geppetto.
Well, Mr. Woodcarver, do you have the money to pay the rent for your shop?
I was brought up during World War II. It's a long time ago. And you didn't have very much. You didn't have anything. You were hiding from bombs. Holes in the ground you were hiding. They say that any child brought up during the World War II is an abused childhood because there was no childhood. As a little girl, I was taken every year to see a pantomime, fairy story set to music like we do here.
The truth is, Papa,
Yes, Pinocchio.
my nose goes funny every time I...
Don't tell the truth, Pinocchio.
And I know what it meant to me as a child. Dressing up and seeing things on stage and the wonder. Yes, it meant a great deal to me, and I think I try to give that to the children.
Good triumphs over evil, like we do with all our shows. They're all that way. There's no two ways to it. This one, Stromboli cops a pie in the face, which is as good a message as you can get. And he runs off and Pinocchio becomes a boy, so it's, everything's fine.
Oh, they got the Pinocchio. Look, hey, look at this. They got him. Look at this.
It's everywhere.
So special. So beautiful. Oh God, I love talent.
Yeah.
I love talent, and your talent is just so like a rubber bouncing ball. You are. If you didn't do anything else, you could join Circus Soleil
Oh, yes.
and sing on a tightrope, upside down, with that marvelous voice.
Thank you.
And you'd be the only person in the world who could do it, and you could ask for millions.
We've always been hustlers, gypsies. We managed to always make a few bucks in England, and
There was work there, but when we got here, there was nothing.
I had to work in a toilet roll factory at night from 11 till 7. I cleaned garages twice a week. I tried to sell home units at the weekend. And I picked up a newspaper early one morning, and there it said, dancers wanted, models for huge city nightclub.
I'd never actually been in a chorus before, because I'd always been sort of leading lady. And suddenly I was in with all these girls, and they were all dancers, and nobody could sing or do anything else but act. So I had all those extra talents, but I was like one of the girls in the chorus. As long as you had pasties stuck on your actual nipples, you were allowed to move. So it was just sort of just general movement. Glamorous. It's so glamorous, you know. And the Vice Squad used to come in every night to watch. They just wanted to come in and see the girls and have a drink. We had enormous fun, and I really didn't mind being a member of the chorus because it was wonderful.
So Carole-Anne got the job at the Lido, placing her boobs, and I got a job in television. So suddenly, I was earning $43 a week. She was earning $80, placing her boobs. And suddenly we had money coming in. We were both of us working. And we had friends. We had parties. And it was whoopee-doo.
We had a choice of going back to England. Oh, I'm very good at saving money, and I thought we could put a deposit on a house.
We did.
So that was the choice we made, and things were very good at that time, weren't they? We were having a lot of fun.
Full house
I will
again.
try not to put my mouth.
Wonderful.
I've had a sort of vibe. Obviously it's viral. I got very cold and it was viral, and I sort of collapsed. I haven't eaten for 5 days.
I am the blue star fairy.
We've never had understudies, and we've always managed. We had Pinocchio once on crutches. She broke her leg. So it's a bit accident prone, I think, Pinocchio. No, I feel rotten.
How's it go?
So dry. They must be antibiotics.
Drink water.
And when I was 7, I nearly died of pneumonia. Something has to keep you alive. And somehow I recovered. I was 6 weeks in bed. And my father used to come up for an hour each night and read me a fairy story with these beautiful illustrated, very old, I've still got them, I brought 2 to Australia with me, antique books that I think were published about 1901, 1902. Never seen anything so beautiful, and I loved them. And it became my life support. Fairies became my life support.
You spoke German. Pen.
We are live fairies, and then there are people fairies, but not good fairies. I think tatty fairies. You see people out, big fat little fairies. No, they do face painting, but the essence of fairy is terribly important.
But as I said, she's had a rugged weekend and hasn't eaten much and is trying hard to remember all the lines. But someone I've spent 49 years of my life with, one of those years was in Sin. Yes, that was last year. Yes, Carole-Anne, there she is. Will you miss us?
Certainly, I will come back and see you guys again.
Especially when you're a star and when you collect the Academy Award.
We'll mention it.
I certainly will.
Nobody ever
In the
does.
programme notes, I started my life with Terry and Carole-Anne at the Tivoli.
I'll remember this forever. I will.
The curtain appears set to come down on Melbourne's much-loved Tivoli Theatre.
For more than 2 decades, the Malvern attraction has been playing to sell-out crowds, but the site's been earmarked for commercial development.
It's good old-fashioned entertainment with a modern take. An intimate setting hosting legendary school holiday pantomimes. But that means little to a landlord who sees commercial development as a better investment.
And to my third son, Matthew, I leave my most prized possession.
Prized possession? But there was nothing else. Except
Puss the cat.
Meow!
We had 1,000 people sign a petition for the council, and yes, they're not happy at all. Grandmothers ringing us up and people writing to the papers, and they are very loyal, yes. Yeah.
Have you had a good time at the Tivoli? Such fun, isn't it? And we're so pleased you've enjoyed yourselves because we've loved having you here today.
If you haven't been before, we welcome you to our Tivoli family here during the holidays. If you haven't known about it, we're under a bit of a threat. We still are under threat to finish up with our children's theatre here. But we're just saying that we are working on it. We want to keep going. We want to keep children's theatre alive. We think it's important, much better for them than television all the time.
There's more important things in life than money. There's a thing called magic, and there's a thing called entertainment and the arts. And these little ones here are starting off learning this by coming to see shows like ours and possibly many others if they're around or when they're around.
We both thank you.
Thank you so much for all you've done. Thank you.
Bye-bye, everyone. Thanks for coming. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. See you at Tivoli. Bye.
Thank you. Thanks for a lovely show.
I love the children. I love their delight, their awe, their honesty, their beauty. They're so beautiful. They come in. I love it when they dress up. I just love them being dressed up.
Hello, give me 5. Hey.
People can try and stop it and say, no, 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 we want you out, which is what we're told. We want you out. And we're saying, hang on, you can't really get rid of us. You can't really kill us off because we're still around, we're still going. We'll do this somewhere, somehow. We're not going to let down the children of Australia. Some of them are at shopping centres, like that one there's the Wizard of Oz on Doncaster Shopping Town, open stage.
That's right, the Wizard of Oz we did in 3 parts over 3 weeks. By the end of the 3rd week, when we were in the Witch's Castle, you could not move in that shopping centre. There was just thousands there. Frankie J. Holden, who did Snow White, and who said to me, will this ruin my career? And I said, well, you're not working, just take the money and do it. And he was lovely. Hansel and Gretel with Shane Bourne, with hair. He now has a little few grey ones, but he was wonderful.
Originally, Hansel and Gretel was put on with Daryl Summers playing Hansel, and I was Gretel, always Betty Bobbitt was the witch. And there's Daryl again with Patty Newton and Rosie Sturgis. This is at Parramatta. Again, open stage. Was it you on stage or someone? Somebody threw a big Slurpee from about 5 stories out straight down on the stage.
But then back in the old days, they had to perform Shakespeare on the back of trucks.
We have done everything.
Yeah, well, I'm just ringing to see whether the owners have made up their mind. What, you spoke to? Yeah. So what's $70,000 plus insurance for downstairs? And what happens if we want the whole place?
Yes, I was out walking the dogs yesterday, and the landlord just around the corner from us, and I just said to him, because he always sort of avoids us, but we were literally next to each other, and I said, have you made up your mind about the Tivoli, and he just didn't answer. So I said, hello. And he just said, you just get on with your business, and just walked in and slammed the door.
Nice, that's 3. Fantastic, bub. That's a 4. Just leave it at 6. Carole-Anne, that's it. Good. 5. Just keeping your body still.
Tell them about how fit I am. 1% of women of my age.
Less. So Carole-Anne, in all seriousness, is a great athlete in every sense of the word. So, no, absolutely terrific. Very strong, very powerful, very flexible. So she's got all the attributes of someone who's extremely fit at a very high level. Coming down, destroying the belly button in, keep that lower back nice and flat.
I like to do things that make me look good. You're surrounded with mirrors, so you're seeing all the time what you look like.
Yeah.
And when I see a mirror, I like to look good in it. I've always worked hard, and I spent money on keeping myself pretty for my public. And they say, how do you look so young? And I always quite openly say, I cheat. Nobody looks like this at 75 if you don't cheat. I have looked at myself occasionally, thought maybe I should have that. You get the Joan Rivers look. You know the Joan Rivers look where they tighten here and you go, and Cher's got it, and you can't smile anymore. You go,
that's a 5.
We've got a body, let's use it. Let's take it with us right to the end. When I'm dead in my coffin, I want to be a beautiful corpse, not a shriveled up old lady.
Mirror, mirror before you I stand. Free tell, who is the most beautiful woman in this entire land?
I had a mother who was incredibly charismatic and very beautiful and so wicked. And I guess I based this queen, on my mum. Yes. Everything that this queen says, basically, except go out and kill Snow White, my mother said to me, your birthday, tomorrow. Oh, how nice for you. When I was 5, she gave a birthday party. The only child, and I hadn't had children in before, and a little girl grabbed one of my dolls. I didn't know that you were supposed to share your dolls with strange children coming in the door. And as she grabbed the doll, I grabbed it back. And my mother grabbed me, took me upstairs, put me in the bedroom and said, you don't come out at all. And after the party, I'm going to thrash the daylights out of you. By all accounts, she was a total nymphomaniac. What happened was that the Army and the Navy and the Air Force descended on during the war, and my mother got bored with being just a mum and started having lots and lots of affairs. So my father, who was a lawyer, in actual fact, and a sophisticated man of the world, said if you're going to have lots and lots of affairs, you might as well get paid for it. So she said, oh, yes, jolly good, right, we'll do that. And she ended up with a flat in Bond Street, London, and she loved it. You know, you hear the girls, oh, I've got to go and do it. Not my mother. Oh, no. The happy hooker. She really was. Dear, dreadful mother, but a happy hooker. And the men loved her. They did.
Now, have we got any? We've got a group down here from Box Hill. Box Hill Seniors, is it? Yes. And what have we got up the back?
Drysdale coaches.
Just Drysdale coaches. Just a collection of riff-raff of old people from up around Drysdale.
The owners of the Tivoli, they actually live just round the corner from us, and the old man who bought the Tivoli for his son as a wedding present, he happened to be out almost in the middle of the road. And we're driving along with the dogs in our ramshackle old car, thousands of years old. And Terry started to go towards him, and I said, Terry, you're going to kill him. And Terry said, ruining my life. And then he swerved at the last minute and the old boy went, ah, like that. So I guess you don't get in between two old men in their 70s.
I'm English. Any other Poms here today? Oh, look, yeah. Put your hands up. Don't be frightened. We won the war twice and the World Cup.
I was born in Cornwall, just at the beginning of the war, 1939. So I remember bits of the war, bombs being dropped, you know. But basically there I had a happy childhood. It was a bit confusing because I didn't have a father as such. The story was my father died during the war in London, but that turned out to be bullshit. And I spoke to my sister years later, and she said, I know your mother was very keen on a carnival barker, you know, a bloke who stands outside a tent saying, come in and see this, you know, the woman with two heads and all that.
Mills has him on the ropes and is sending in a fusillade of lefts and rights to a fading champion. One more shattering punch and away goes Harvey through the ropes and headlong out of the ring.
And then there was a boxer called Freddie Mills who was an English champion, and she said, I know your mother fancied him as well, so goodness knows. I was in a church choir when I was in England, as long as I could remember, up to church singing the choir. And I got a scholarship, and that paid for my schooling. And I didn't take advantage of it. I thought it was all fun and games, you know, school, you know, sort of fucking around and smoking in the back of the gym and all that. I left at 16 and became a police cadet. And I quite liked that. I did it for 2 years, but I got put out because it's a long story. But suddenly I was just a clerk in an office. And I thought, I don't want to do this for the rest of my life. I don't want to be a 9-to-5er. Long ago, we got rid of the cleaners and we hired a new one, which is me. They're all pretty good today. Sometimes you come in and find horrible things still sitting in the toilet.
I'd hate to get biblical on this. Well, I'd love to get biblical on this, but the most beautiful words ever said by anyone, I think, was Jesus. Let's go to Jesus. He was a good guy. And no, this is special. He was a good guy. And when he was on the cross, he said, Lord, forgive them. They know not what they do. And I think that this is what these Greek people who have got the Tivoli should think. Lord, forgive them. They know not what they do.
Well, I ain't forgiving them. I'm not the Lord. I've made an offer to pay more rent than we are now for only the bottom half of the building, because all our storage is upstairs. We're already moving props and old bits of stuff we don't use anymore. But he just says, the owner says, no, he hasn't made up his mind. And they won't tell us anything till the end of September. So, which pisses me off. We would love to stay here. This is, you know, we make magic at this place. Let me see.
She's called the second one.
Right, I might have a go there with Georgie Porgy.
Oh, except that baby.
I can do all that.
You all do ballet. You all do tap,
Jazz.
Jazz. I have, in my own way. Yeah.
What we do is get them to sing and read a bit of a script. And you can sort of see if they've got any brains, or, you know. You know the story of Georgie Porgy?
No.
Georgie Porgy, pudding and pie, kissed the girls and made them cry. Don't you teach them any nursery rhymes? And then you turn around and the spider's that big and it's on your back. Right, okay. Take a seat, take a seat, take a seat. Right, who's next? Some of them have worked here, then gone off. One of them played Billy Elliot. One of them's been touring with the Jersey Boys. One's been in America.
One's about to go into chorus line.
Chorus line. So I'm going to get her to read Bo Peep. I'm going to get her to read for Bo Peep.
You're going to better to read first or to sing?
No, read. Oh no, you haven't lost the sheep again, have you?
Well, not lost them. Mama, I just don't know where to find them.
Little Bo Peep has lost her sheep. Come on, and there to find them. Well, that was wonderful, Diane. What do you think, madam?
Super.
Would you like to play Bo Peep?
Definitely.
Turned 21, got into a house in Clapham Common with 5 other blokes. Madness, parties, you know, wicked things. And then I had a car accident. You know, we can argue about whose fault it was, but it was a bad car accident. Me and a motorbike collided. I was in a car. And I thought to myself, fuck this, I've got to start pulling my life together. And I saw there was an ad, student actor required for a theatre company just for the summer. So I wrote them off and sent them a photo and said I'd been to the Stanislavski Institute doing all method classes, you know, pretending to be a tree and all this sort of shit. Anyway, they wrote back and said, we want you. So when I became an actor, suddenly it gave me an identity. You know, I'm a fucking actor. I mean, you know, all right, you're at university, but me, I'm an actor. It was a wonderful feeling. It really was.
You hated that dog.
Dad.
That's right. He admits it. Yeah, but I wouldn't kill him, Jim.
Don't tell me. He committed suicide.
Bruno couldn't kill a fly.
Bullshit.
It's true. He catches them with a tissue on the window and lets them go.
Oh, does he? So you love disease-carrying vermin, but you hated my dog.
Oh, for Christ's sake, Dad, it was an accident.
Well, whose fault was it then? The cat? Ah, that's it. The cat murdered the dog. Bullshit. I'm going to the pub.
There's a picture there of an act we put together to work in RSL clubs when we first came to Australia. This is a picture of the both of us at Tiki and John's in 1966. It was one of the original theatre restaurants. That's me and Bluey, the Matlock. Scenes here from a television series I did.
Flying Doctors, and that's a corroboree. That was the day we did the corroboree.
Here's an early homicide, one of Australia's first dramas, which was huge. And Carole-Anne did a couple of episodes of homicide. I did quite a few, but she actually appeared naked with her top off.
I had to do this striptease. This, whatever happens, you mustn't show your breast.
Hector Crawford, who was a legend in Australian drama, was terribly worried about it. But
and he kept replaying it and replaying it. And we were all waiting and waiting to see if Hector would pass this shot, because as I turned sideways, you can actually see the side of my bosom. And finally, he said, Carole-Anne's breast is so pretty, I'm going to allow it through.
And it was way back.
I was the first one who ever showed it.
About 1966 or 7, was it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
it was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Hello, what's this? New Pentavite for adults. Specially balanced vitamin and mineral capsules with 250 milligrams of vitamin C. Remember the great start you got with kids' Pentavite? Here we go again.
Over the years, we've both missed out on bits of work because we've got...
Well, you've missed out on a lot.
Oh, there's some movies and all that. And the agent would say, I've got your part in this, Sunday Too Far Away, or this, or whatever. And I say, I can't do it. I've got the theatre restaurant. Acting is like a poison, you know. You can't do it on your own. People have got to want you. And it's been good for us here. Each day, I'm now to come in to the restaurant.
We're working.
Each day, Carole-Anne steams her throat, sings her songs at home. She knows that we are going to put on shows during the year. We're in charge. And that's been a terrific thing for us. And people, you know, some people look down on us. Oh, they're doing a theatre restaurant. They go, fuck you. Well, at least we're working. We are working.
I am here to welcome you and tell
to the coach to versus the ball for the dancing.
We're just going back to the basics. We are entertaining the public in perhaps a low form of it, but we're doing it.
Not low form.
Well, a lot of people think
public
of it
are
that
bloody
way.
lucky to have had them.
Of course they are. Fuck off. Yeah.
6, 7, and
Don't do the feet. Try it. Just do the claps.
6, 7, and 1. 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2.
Take a big breath. If you're going to go up there, you've got to support it.
Yeah.
You've got a slight quiver. You need a lot of breath. It's all, you says a tiny little thing. I was a tiny little thing. The tiny little thing here. And you've got, that's all got to be very solid. It's got to bring the voice. No, you've got to be able to sit on that voice, and it keeps it very firm.
Yeah.
I used to be like you. Get those little, and then I got to getting right through the middle. Strength. And then nothing can knock you off. You can't, our knowledge, it can't be learned. I mean, you can read books on acting, books on this, books on that, but it's life experience, and life experience in the theatre.
Gill will leave the pail in the way, Miser will trip and fall down.
Yes, and you'll all come tumbling after. The thing is that when you fall over, when you go down on the ground, put yourself down. I do pratfalls. A little old lady here does pratfalls, you know, flat out.
How about
But I tell you what I do. I put my legs over my neck. In other words, when you get down, they go, oh, put your legs up in the air. Oh, because that's what they're going to see.
Yeah.
Mind your wrist, mind your knees.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like you can't learn to be a genius. It's just something that comes in, you come in life with a certain gift. And I think that both Terry and I came in with the gift of performing. Right from the word go, as a little girl, I used to select music and get dressed up, and I used to dance for everyone in between all the furniture. And I seemed to be good at things, and people watched, and they said, you're lovely, and you're this, that, and the other, and then I felt good about me. So we knew of this theatre school. It was called the Cone Rittman then. Now it's the Arts Educational, one of the top theatre schools in the world. And that's when I began to blossom. You know, right from the word go, I'd work out 100 different ways to say lines. I was virtually teaching myself, but then I had the opportunity. In fact, the first term I was there, I was the girl most likely to succeed. You know, I was #1 girl, which was great. And then my mother, she said, no. Your father left school at 14, I left school at 16. Why should you have any more training? You can't do anything anyway. You're hopeless. You're useless.
So she took you out?
Yeah, broke my heart. Mr. Steph. You think.
Now, why don't we sing my song? It's the best song in the show.
All right,
good idea. Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great... Oh, only joking. All the king's horses and all the king's men. The show's going well. The kids are all terrific. But I threw out 2 lights today, 2 old, very old theatrical lights, which I know no one will ever buy, and we could never use them, but it's a bit of history, throwing out history. We don't know what's going to happen. It's all a mess. So it gets to you. Tivoli Theatre.
I feel terribly sorry for Terry. He's been so good. He's been wonderful. He employs everyone. He's always giving money to people when they need it. You know what I mean? He's such a generous, and we don't have it, but he's such a generous, kind, sweet, caring person for everyone. And he's such a he's a good man.
Very good audience today. Got all the gags. Lovely, fantastic.
All the best. It's very sad. It's very sad. It takes a lot to knock us down. We'll be back. The owners, they've had it for 5 years, haven't even been in the door to see if we need anything. And well, they just, thank you, love. They just want to, last thing we heard, they were going to pull down the building. They don't know, they basically, or they turn it into a shop. I didn't think I'd ever come across total evil again in this lifetime, having come through it as a child. But I think that what's happened to us in this little Tivoli here, I think what's happened is totally evil. I really do. This is evil. I equate it with Hitler. And Hitler didn't knock me off, and neither will this. My mother had this totally dense stroke when she was 59 and was paralysed all down the left side. And my father, he had with the sole care of looking after her. And of course, it affected his brain and he went into Alzheimer's. What do you do? They just came over. I was the only person to look after them. There was nobody else. Daddy was better, he was okay, the old man was okay. But my mother was sheer hell. I tried to take it all on myself, so that left him and the children free. Of course it got in the way. He often said to me, "You've ruined my life, your mother and you." And all I could say was, "I'm terribly sorry." Because what can you say? I tried so hard, and occasionally I'd say, "Terry, I do need someone to take her to the eye specialist, and you know, could you just help me out, please?" And I was trying to keep him happy, and all this thing of trying to keep Terry happy. I should have put a lot more on him, yeah. Yeah, I should have told him a lot more that I needed help, and I didn't. I should have done, yeah.
She's having stuff removed from her stomach. Fat. And she's had it a bit done before ages ago, but this is supposed to be all new and less problems, and I just have to trust that she knows what she's doing. All right, well, good luck.
Yeah.
Give us a kiss.
Just in case you never see me again.
I'll see you again. I might not recognise you soon.
Let's get that belly.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, darling.
Bye. Ring me and I'll pick you up.
Okay.
All right.
Wish me luck.
Good luck. Come on, off you go.
When my mother eventually went, and she took so long to die, the thing came from the lawyers, and it said, "I don't want a funeral, I don't want this, I don't want that, I don't want a coffin, I don't want anything, and I know my daughter will carry out my wishes." And I looked at it, opened it up, and I laughed out loud, and I said, "No, you wicked old bitch, you're dead, and I'm alive. and I'm going to give you the best funeral I can. Because I hate people who die and say, just put me in the ground and leave me and forget. It was all done in such hate. It's awful. And I gave her a beautiful funeral, like a wedding, all pink and flowers.
Hello, this is our second year at Tangalooma. It's October 1977. Say something, Erin. Hi. Say something, Edie. Hello. We're going for a walk now because they're digging up the beach.
I had a hard, I don't know if I've told you, I had a hard start in that I broke my teeth when I was 10, so I had dreadful front teeth, they were just patched and it was awful. So I wasn't pretty enough, or I couldn't do films and television until I got my teeth fixed, and I was 30 when I got my teeth fixed. By now I was in Australia and starting to think about, you know, have a home and a family. So I didn't have much of a chance to be a glamour girl. All those wonderful years where you can be fantastic, I didn't have that opportunity. And then when my mother eventually died well, I was about 56 when my mother died, suddenly I sort of thought, now I'll go to the gym and I'll make myself pretty and this, that and the other. And I sort of went for like a new lease of life.
Hi, John. I'm going to sing now. I'm going to do a wee and then sing. I had my surgery yesterday, my lipolysis. I got up this morning, I looked like Elle Macpherson. I walked stark naked into Terry and said, "What do you think?" And he said, "Oh, yes," he said, "that's terrific." Now, if you think of what I used to be like, when you sort of turn on, see, it's got that much, it's that much better. And that'll give me something to look forward to in the future rather than just, oh, it's the end of my shows, my theatre. Instead of having that, I think, gee, this is a new me going to emerge now, and I won't be dragged down by other people's wickedness.
Tivoli Theatre. Yeah, Wednesday, yeah. Morning or afternoon?
So then they demolished it.
Dale!
But I will eventually. We've got to get rid of everything. We've had to do it in such a short time because until only about, 6 weeks ago, they still hadn't made up their minds as to what they were going to do. And they just kept us hanging on, and then suddenly we've known that this could happen. Of course we have. But always hoping for someone, that the earth would open up and they'd all fall in, and some great spark would come and say, "You're saved, you're saved." I'm still at the stage of thinking, where the hell am I going to put all that stuff? That's not important stuff, but it's not stuff I want to let go. It's not important. It should go. And this is, it's bugger it, you know. I don't know.
Well, the owners want to put the rent up, so it's bugger. But most of it's going to stay down here now, even though we're still working up till Christmas.
And where are you moving to?
We're not. Leather jacket there, mate. Worn by Marlon Brando in The Wild One.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
It's just amazing that this has happened. You know, theatre should be cherished and fostered, and why does this happen?
It is sad, though.
Yeah, there's things that you really don't want to let go, aren't there?
Well, I mean, the fact that we've hung on to this for all these bloody years, 35 years, we've got to get rid of it because we've got nowhere to store it. This is really bringing home now that this little theatre's going, and, you know.
He's getting grumpy and aggressive, Terry is, and he's just so upset. I get his pain. Terry's a fidget bum. Wherever you go, he's always got to be off doing something. And that is what worries me, is that he's not going to have anywhere to fidget to. I thought I might put this up. Oh, careful.
You all right?
I thought we might put this up in the hall, take down all those pictures of the children.
How can you do that?
Or some of them, I don't know.
We've been an unusual double act, but we've had a lot of laughs together.
Wherever we go,
We've had a couple of, well, particularly one big thing where we were going to split, and but we sort of hung in there. Probably Carole-Anne hung in more than I did, but we got over it. You know, I got a bit stupid, like a midlife crisis, I suppose.
We went to see a marriage guidance counsellor, and Terry said something that really upset me, and I picked up a book and I hit Terry over the head with the book. And we looked at each other, and the two of us just burst out laughing. We couldn't stop. We looked and we laughed and laughed and laughed.
And I'm pretty proud of the fact that we, for all that, that we're still married for this nearly 50 years. She is terribly faithful. She is loyal. She is unusual. She can be an absolute bugger.
I'm the prettiest.
But she is a one-off. There's I mean, a lot of people, she drives them fucking mad. I know she does. And a lot of people don't get it. They don't get her, but there's a lot of people who think she's absolutely wonderful because she has this, you know, she's a fairy. She's living in a different world quite often.
Hello. God, work this out. How did you start? Just work this out.
Not long ago, we were at a party or something, and he came through the door, and I looked at him and I thought, gosh, you really are handsome. Handsome older man. Yeah, handsome older man. I always have to have a man who I can admire, and I can admire Terry.
A guy rang me just yesterday saying he's opening some sort of burlesque restaurant in South Melbourne, and did we have curtains and sound equipment and all that, with a lot of that which I was probably going to have to leave. So he's coming today as well. So you never know, I might make a few bucks at the very last minute.
Terry.
How are you, mate?
How are you? Paul. And this is Natalia. Hello, Paul.
Hello, Dave.
How are you going?
Good. Come in.
Sad day.
Oh, it's a load of fuck, isn't it?
Hello, how are you? Aaron?
15.
No.
How big's your stage?
It's not that huge. It's
Not as
probably
epic
about-
as this. It's smaller than this, is it?
Yeah.
A little bit smaller than this, yeah.
They're in good nick. They were made in Austria by blind German Jews who escaped Berlin during the war. What about, is it a theatre restaurant?
No, it's a cabaret burlesque.
So
you do food?
We will have a full restaurant, yeah.
You want to see the lights?
Yes, please.
So do you write everything and appear and do everything?
Pretty much, yeah.
That's what we do. That's how we kept going. We do everything. Yeah. And we are so successful. It's dreadful to close down a venue that is so fucking successful. So successful. I'm one of those girls. Which one? One with
The one with the cheeky grin.
The little fat one. You ever heard of Allen Ginsberg?
Name
Started the whole of the Beat generation in America. Slept under my piano for a week.
Ron Moody, an old pash of mine. Ron Moody played Fagin in the film Oliver for the Academy Award. And Ron is now 87. And I got a card from him at Christmas saying, still love you, still love you. Lovely.
Thank you very, very much, Terry.
It
was lovely to...
It all sounds fantastic.
Oh, it's going to be wonderful.
Wonderful. I say, you know, we sink in the West and got new ones coming up, which is wonderful.
Are you happy with the life you've lived and the career you've had?
Yes. She's not, but I am. Go on, say it, say it. Of course you're happy.
I made the most of what I came over here with Terry to get married. and I did the family, I did all that sort of thing. I would have loved to have had the opportunity to do the big plays, to do a lot more with my acting. I'm a very good actress. I would love to have had the opportunity to have done a lot more acting. But we've made this little world here, and that's lovely. And it's what keeps him happy, is my husband.
But it keeps you happy too.
Oh, it does, of course it does, sweetheart.
Everyone thinks they could have, you know.
I just when I see those lovely things on television, and I think, oh, I'd love to have been part of, you know, those big epic.
But you don't know that you would have even got it if you were there.
Oh no, I'd have bloody got it. Don't you worry, I'd have got it. I knew. I could have done it.
Of course you would have. Yes,
of course I would have done it.
The last day of the pantomimes, the last day of the Tivoli.
It's the end of an era. When the doors close, the doors open.
Well, that's everyone keeps saying us, but at our age, it's all good.
Well, no, age is nothing. Since when in your whole career has age been an issue?
Well, it might be. This might be it.
Well.
This might be it. Such a world of youth.
Stop fucking around.
This is Bombay lentils, and they're gluten-free and vegetarian.
The only reason that people retire is when nobody wants to see them anymore.
You want to be wanted, I keep saying it. You want to be loved, you want people to want you. There's no retirement, bros. The only thing that will retire me is maybe legs.
Terry has this tough, gruff exterior sometimes, but he's actually a real softie. He'll hate me saying all this. And yeah, he'll be very sad when the curtain comes down. We love them very much. We thank them for all the opportunities, and we congratulate them on their marvellous effort to children's entertainment over so many years, and aren't we lucky to have been part of it with them. Thanks, Carole-Anne.
Thank you very much. Look, it's always been a pleasure, and I've often said, you know, each show gets its own life, and quite often at the end I'll sit over there, look around at an empty theatre and think, shit, it's all over.
Oh, I could get very weepy. I'm not allowed. I'm not going to.
Terry loves the cow more than me. He loves
I'm going to have that on the coffin when they bury me.
I feel like we're pop stars. It's wonderful.
Dear Terry and Carole-Anne, thank you for welcoming us into the Tivoli with such open arms, making the whole...
I can't read them. You mean coming to children's girls?
Oh. Good afternoon, thrill seekers. Welcome to the Tivoli Theatre. For the last 20-odd years, Melbourne's #1 for children's theatre entertainment. Today, Carole-Anne and Terry Gill are proud to bring you yet another show to the Tivoli, the last one at the Tivoli. Yes, well, it's more than there's other words that one can use, but not with the children here.
Oh, Georgie!
Show at the Tivoli, and this is certainly the moment, and so I'd like to introduce you to the people who put it all together here for so many thousands of people for so long. Carole-Anne and Terry Gill.
Yes, I was going to say that we tried so hard to save this place for us all, this dear, dear little theatre, and unfortunately we haven't. And the last thing we heard is that they're going to gut the place, which is so cruel because it's a place of love, fantasy, fairyland, magic, wonderment. And it's a place for, let's say, love. And this place is full of love, and we get it back and we give it out, and nothing in the world gets in the way of that.
And these are from the cast and everyone at the Tivoli. Just a little.
They mine? What's Carole-Anne getting? Yeah. You carry those, I can. Look, and most of all, you have been spectacular, and we love you all, our audience. Thank you very much. Right, are we done? Oh.
And so everyone, as Carole-Anne and Terry prepare to bring down the curtain, turn off the lights and say farewell to you all, we ask our young stars of the future to lead us into tomorrow.
We love you all and thank you very much. Look at that, isn't it wonderful? Bye-bye. Now we'll see you out the front. I will go and have a stiff drink.
Come on. As you get older, it gets a lot more difficult. Everything gets a lot more difficult. And it's sort of how you approach and live through old age. And I just want to do it beautifully.
I'm finding it hard now as we've lost the Tivoli, and some days I think, what the fuck am I going to do today? Because I've never encouraged myself to play golf or fish or belong to a bowling club or some shit, anything,
Let's say I'm working on things. I'm working between the worlds now, preparing. I can't wait to meet up with a lot of people who've gone on before, who really meant things in my life. And I want to thank them, and I want to talk about things, and I love them, and I want to love them again. And I want to be part of the big thing that they are all part of. Go home to that is out there. Yeah. Almost time to go home. And I'm looking forward to it. And I'm going to do it beautifully.
Too much light here.
Coming here has given Terry something to do.
Oh, fuck.
So he's not in total grief about losing his theatre.
We've got the pantomimes going at the church hall, so I'm starting to think about it, trying to think, how the hell am I going to put on a show there? Will I be able to put the lights back together? Will I be able to do this? Even at the Tivoli, the best bits for me were putting the show together.
It's a bit like when we first started, isn't it? We started in rep, and in rep you do everything and you help everyone. In a way, it's sort of fun. We're doing it again. We're back to where we started.
We did.
Isn't that wonderful? Well done.
Very excited.
Right, we're going to start. Good afternoon, thrill seekers. The Tivoli Children's Theatre is back. Yes, they tried to put us down, put us out of our little theatre, but we're back. Like a phoenix from the ashes, we're back. Good afternoon, welcome to the Tivoli at the church. Thank you so much for being here. I'm nearly crying already, because we've worked so hard to get all this together and to see all these lovely faces. Fantastic.
Speak up!
I'm trying to speak up. I'm emotionally charged. Are you happy to see us? Welcome to the Tivoli at the Church Hall for Red Riding Hood.
little pigs, they would have let me get on with the story. Boy.
What?